flying shoe speaks more for Arab public opinion than all the despots and puppets that Bush meets with during his travels in the Middle East. As'ad Abu Khalil, Professor of Political Science, California State University.
Welcome back to Inside Iraq. We are discussing the incident of the flying shoes, a pair of shoes being thrown at President Bush in Iraq, with Brad Blakeman and Abdul Bari Atwan. Brad Blakeman, to what extent this incident, it became the whole story, it eclipsed the moment where President Bush was signing the security pact with al-Maliki?
Well, look, it certainly did, because there were pictures attributed to it, so it made some good visuals and made an interesting story. There's no doubt about that, and President Bush handled it very well. But it's not, look, the security pact is important as it is honored in its implementation. So let's see what happens with that in the cooperation we have between the United States and Iraq and other nations as we move forward with a new administration. It's not so much the pomp and circumstance of signing it as it is in the enactment of the agreement itself.
Abdul Bari, to what extent this incident damaged President Bush? Meaning to say that at the beginning, back in May 2003, we saw mission accomplished at the beginning of the war, and now we see the incident of the flying shoes, and in between, tremendous horrible things happened. Will people remember those things and forget the rest, forget the democracy and liberty brought by the Americans to the Iraqis?
First, in that press conference, President Bush admitted that the war in Iraq is still continue. The job was not actually accomplished, or mission was not accomplished as he promised. Second, this agreement was the outcome of a huge intimidation by the American governments on the Iraqi governments and officials. They threatened them. I mean, President Bush and his staff threatened those people that if you don't sign this agreement, we will actually withdraw our protection to you personally and to your government.
Come on, Barry.
So
Barry, you were reading novels.
Listen, let me complete.
Are you reading Tom Clancy? No, I won't let you complete lies.
Please.
You
wait,
know the Iraqi people are not going to sign an agreement with
just
the
wait.
Iraqi
Brad,
people
give him a chance. Give him a chance, Brad.
With a president who's leaving.
Give him a chance, Brad. Go ahead, Abdul Bari.
Let me finish,
President
Brad.
Bush has no authority to ask them to do anything.
Cool down.
Okay, Brad, give him a chance.
Cool down. Let me finish. This is not a civilized way to have a conversation. Let me complete
just don't lie.
my
Tell
argument.
the truth.
Okay, you said that once. Give him a chance. Go ahead, Barry. Go ahead, Barry.
Unbelievable. This is. I don't know. I've never been in a program like this. You know. Listen.
Well, you got to tell the truth. Then.
Actually. I'm saying the truth. You are lying like your government. You know, you deceived the Iraqi people. This is the outcome of your deception. Right. That's why you are not winning in Iraq. You are not winning in Afghanistan, because of deception, because of lies. That's the problem with you Americans. Just listen to us.
Yeah, right.
Listen to us and learn, because you are not learning and you are making mistake. You destroyed the whole world. This credit crunch because of you. The whole world is bankrupt because of your wars.
Yeah, we're to blame for everything.
Instability. The word is more dangerous now because of your governments and because of your policies, which you are defending now, and defending without actually thinking about what's happening, the destruction which happened all over the world because of your policies. Let me complete. President Bush went there to celebrate his so-called success in Iraq. He went there to tell the world that here I am, because he wouldn't receive as a president, as a respectable president anywhere in the world except with this Iraqi government, except by Mr. Maliki, who's supposed to have another pair of the shoes. Actually, that's the problem. He is there to tell the people that here I am among my own people. If the Iraqi people had the chance to express their feeling toward President Bush, it will be more than shoes, to be honest. That's the problem. But the Iraqi people are denied this opportunity.
You said enough. Let us listen to Brad. Let us listen to Brad.
The good news, Barry, is you don't speak for the Iraqi people. You're speaking from the safe harbor of a democratic country in England. You don't speak for the Iraqi people. So how dare you tell us,
speak for Arab
as
people.
Americans, yeah, you speak for the entire Arab people. Is that so? And what authority do you do that? Why? Because you're a journalist? You journalists think that you've got more power than your pen, and that's not the case. Okay? You've never governed anything. Have you?
Let
Have
me-
you ever been
I'm
elected to
entitled to
anything,
express
Barry?
Let me
I am
ask
entitled.
Abdel Bari.
I am
Abdel Bari, let
entitled
me
to
ask you a
express
question.
my feeling.
Let me ask you something. Perhaps you just betrayed your hand just a little bit when you said, perhaps, I don't know, did I mishear you? You very much wished that one of the shoes hit al-Maliki. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, because al-Maliki is responsible. I believe al-Maliki and President Bush and Tony Blair, they should be actually behind the bars, and they should be charged, and they should be tried. Not this poor journalist. This poor journalist actually, the maximum he should be punished is just to be interrogated and released, because he did not inflict any harms on President Bush or anybody else.
What about the harm, Abdel Bari Atwan? This act labeled the Iraqis as inhospitable people. No matter what you think, and no matter what your position vis-a-vis President Bush, but he was a guest of the Iraqi people and the Iraqi government. For him to be subjected to a pair of shoes that is, runs diametrically opposed to the tradition of hospitality by the Iraqis.
No, he was not the guest of the Iraqi people. He was the guest of the Iraqi government.
Come on, Barry. You're trying to justify this behavior? Shame on you.
Listen to me.
You pick and choose the laws that you think that people should follow? Why? Because you're a journalist and you can determine who follows what laws?
Listen, if he comes to London, he will be thrown by shoes, by rotten eggs, by tomatoes, by British people, by those innocent, conscious people in Britain and in Australia and all over the world.
And let me tell you, if you came here to America and you espoused the views you did here, you'd be hit by something more than shoes.
But
sorry?
Go ahead, repeat that one more sentence one more time.
I said, if you came here to America and espoused the views that you're talking about America, I suspect that you would be hit by something more than shoes, Barry.
You know very well, Brad Blakeman, views like Abdel Bari are held all over the United States, and people are at liberty to
not by the vast majority of people. The vast majority of people don't think that the President of the United States, regardless of what you think of him, should be assaulted.
Listen. Brad, I was lecturing at Harvard, at Chicago University, Georgetown University. People actually clapped for me. I had standing ovation for my talks. But you will be
look where you are. Look where you're speaking.
Go
to a foreign legion. Go to the American Legion. Speak to a chamber of commerce, and you'll be run out of town on a rail. You speak at liberal institutions, which you know are a safe harbor, because you're a coward. Speak in the places. I'll get you some places to speak, Barry.
Let us not make it personal, but let me ask Abdel Bari Atwan. Do you think this Iraqi journalist is going to benefit from a free and equitable Iraqi judiciary?
Well, I don't believe so, because the man was beaten up, the man was dragged as a criminal, and he actually I was told that one of his arm was broken because of the harsh treatment by the security men who captured them, who humiliated them, who beaten him up. So if this happened in front of the cameras, so what is happening now behind the scene? And second, I don't believe the Iraqi judicial system is a sound one. It is actually
in the last minute left to me, Brad Blakeman, go ahead. Your final thought.
I don't trust this judicial system.
The whole world is watching what happens to this journalist. What's for sure is, if he had done it to Saddam, he would have been beheaded, killed, his whole family destroyed, and wiped out. He got a little roughed up, justifiably so, as I saw on camera, but as you just said, you don't know what happened to him. You're hearing it third and fourth. Is that the way you do journalism? Is by saying hearsay? The whole world is going to watch what happened to this guy, okay? It's made news all around the world. I have faith in the Iraqi people and the judiciary, even if you do not, Barry.
Barry, 30 seconds, go ahead.
When you lose the argument, you go back to Saddam Hussein. This is your problem, because you don't have sound argument. You don't have strong points.
He was a dictator who killed millions of people, including his own people.
Saddam Hussein is finished now. Talk about the new Iraq which you
created.
Gentlemen. Awful Iraq you created.
Abdel Bari Atwan, Brad Blakeman, gentlemen, thank you for being guests on Inside Iraq.
Thank you.
To access the show and to send us your comments, please go to aljazeera.net/English. We have reached the end of this show this week. Join me next week when we take another look inside Iraq. Until then, this is Jassim Azzawi. Goodbye.